Hello. Good morning. This is Tuhina here from Right Management. I'd like to welcome all participants who are joining us today on the webinar for career development. Are you building a program or a culture? Just to set a few general webinar today, we have two facilitators here with us today who will share insights about the career development process and thought leadership on the same. And through the entire webinar, we will have a few poll questions posted in and options for you to through the entire presentation, we will have both facilitators share insights and request for any of your inputs to the polling questions. And towards the end of the presentation, we will have a few questions coming in from the audience, which we will take towards the end. So just to share a little bit about our presenters for today, we have with us Prashant Pandey, who has over 16 years of experience in consulting and learning and development. He has worked with leading corporate houses of India like Tata, Reliance and Bharti. Prior to working with Right Management, he was with Dun & Bradstreet, and where he was leading business development, client relationship and solutions design. In his current role, Prashant is Vice President with Right Management India and has participated in multiple consulting assignments where he has played the role of a thought leader, of someone who has also led assignments from start to end in the areas of assessment, leadership development, organizational design, career transition, and many more areas. We also have today with us Divya Jain, who is working with Right Management as an Associate Vice President, Development, Org Effectiveness and Talent Management practice areas. She has managed multiple high-value clients for us and is responsible for developing intellectual property and grooming the team. She has over 11 years of experience in the space of HR consulting, business transformation and strategy, and org change. Prior to working, to talk a little bit more about our topic for today, the agenda that we will cover is on career development as a critical component of employee engagement. Many of us have launched career development initiatives or career pathing initiatives at our organizations. And the key component that we see over there is that how such initiatives directly link to increasing employee engagement at organizations. What we also see is that today's workplace and the requirement, there is a requirement for systematic approach towards career development, because since there is no one true way to approach this particular initiative, we have to understand what are probably the critical components which need to be involved and then can be customized to the need of the organization. We also want to touch upon how we can build a sustainable internal career development culture within the organization and ensure that we have a long-term initiative in place. I would like to pass it on to Divya today to start off with the presentation.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're as excited as Prashant, me and Tuhina are to host this webinar, because career development is becoming increasingly a need of the hour for most organizations, and most organizations take an attempt at career development in all forms and formats. Keeping that thought in mind, Right Management globally, we did a very interesting research and tried to identify what career development means for organizations and what does it mean for different people within organizations. And a very strong correlation that came to our knowledge by this research and study is that career is very, very highly correlated to engagement. And that is how this study went on. We will unfold the findings from this study during this webinar and also try and understand the correlation between engagement and career development, how one leads to other, what are doing and can do to sustain the two, and hence drive business performances. which is understanding career development as a critical component of employee engagement. So the name that we've given to this section is career development for business success, because if what drives business success is actually people. People are the most important assets for driving business success. And what we have found through this study is that through job dissatisfaction, it just doesn't destroy people's morale, it destroys business. There is an inevitable consequence on the productivity and business performance of the dissatisfaction of people in their jobs and in their organizations. So how do we use career development as the tool or answer to address the most important issue, which is the and business performance for the organization? Moving ahead, some insights from the study that Right Management did. So Right Management did a global study across 15 countries, spanning around 10 business sectors or industries, so to say. It found around 28,000 employees or respondents across those industries. And what it found that 1 in the 3 employees are fully engaged with their organizations. That means that 2/3 of the respondents were either partially engaged. This is one data set that made us delve more into what is causing that dissatisfaction. Apart from that, we also found that approximately 50% of current employees of an organization say that they will seek new job opportunities, as that is also a disengagement agenda that organizations have to deal with today. This study actually helps us understand that how these lack of engagement among the employees resulting into lower retention, it's resulting into greater absenteeism, and of course poorer productivity. And what we found is that organizations are actually failing to perform up to their true potential because of these reasons. So where does career development come into picture? So to understand how career development links, let's first try and understand what is engagement and how engagement and career development can be linked together. To understand that, the slide actually tells about the engagement items. So Right Management philosophy to measure and balance engagement in an organization is dependent on 2 things: the dimensions and the parameters. There are 2 parameters, which is job engagement and organization engagement, and Right Management philosophy and approach measures engagement around the 4 dimensions: commitment, advocacy, pride, and satisfaction. All the 4 applicable to job as well as to the organization in the same priority, same order of priority, and in same weightage. So if a person is committed to job, he or she will do whatever is required to do the job well. At the same time, the person needs to be committed to organization as well and do whatever it takes to help the organization succeed as well. Similarly, advocacy. I would advocate my job, the thing that I do a great job, and I would advocate people to do that job. At the same time, I need to also advocate my organization that I do a great job, this is a job to do, and this is an organization to do this job. That is what the advocacy means. Pride, I am definitely proud of doing the work, and I am also proud of doing the work for my organization. Similarly, satisfaction, I am satisfied with my job, at the same time I am fully engaged. If any of the dimension is lacking on any of the 2 parameters, then there is a partial engagement that is happening, and then if none of them are performing for an employee, probably that employee is not engaged. So how does career development fit in? If I look at these dimensions, commitment, advocacy, pride, and satisfaction, it talks about two main levers for an employee to work in an organization. The commitment or the satisfaction, probably there is a skill and capability aspect which aids to these two dimensions. I will be committed to do the work and I will be satisfied to do the work if I have the right set of skills and capabilities to do that. Also, the satisfaction is the motivators. So what are those motivators which are driving me to be committed, to be satisfied, and to advocate and be proud of whatever I am doing and wherever I am doing? So career development, holistically speaking, it addresses how a person or what organization needs to develop a person's skills and capabilities. At the same time, it can also aid in providing those motivators by employees. These motivators, as our study highlighted, actually contains of two things, which is one, finding the meaning of work, and secondly, providing that today's employee and the Gen Y is typically looking at. So whenever an organization is looking at building a career development program, these are the aspects that organize in mind, and this is definitely backed by the study that Right Management does. So it not only just addresses the skills and the capacity or a capability building, but it also addresses the primarily heightening the challenge, providing a reason for employee to work well and work at the organization, and meaning of the work, connecting with the larger purpose of an organization. Define what career developments for various set of employees in an organization would mean. Okay, and once organizations are actually able to do this, it will result in engagement, as we've just discussed. The 4 parameters, if that are 4 parameters are performing well, then we'll say the employees are definitely engaged, which is unfortunately currently not happening. But if that happens, how does it impact? How does it impact? Let's look at some more insights from the study. The first and the immediate impact of an employee engagement is increase in productivity. That's a given. If a person is fully engaged, the first tangible output that you will see is immediate increase in productivity. And the result from our study also says that highly engaged work groups are 50% more productive than partially or unengaged people that we found. One business outcome. Second, if everybody is more productive, of course, business performance and results would be higher and better. And it also augments that if I take the highly engaged work groups and compare their organization's results with people who have, with organizations who have partially or disengaged employees, the highly engaged organizations or workplaces are found to have impact on the business results. Thirdly, employee attraction and stakeholder satisfaction. If people are engaged, they will attract more people into their organization and into the kind of jobs they're doing. And that will also reflect on the stakeholders that they are dealing with. These stakeholders could be internal stakeholders, these stakeholders could be external stakeholders. And our study also supports that people who are highly engaged, those organizations have 56% higher customer loyalty. This is all resulting because of engagement. Again, to remind you all that this engagement is driven on the career development aspect just discussed in the previous slide. And last and most important aspect of this engagement is retention. If I find meaning of work at my workplace, if I get to do the challenging work I aspire to do, and if I have the skills and capabilities and a defined career in the organization, why would, as an employee, I would need to look out? And the result is I would have a better retention. Those who are able to provide these have 44% higher retention than the organizations who have not been able to. And hence, the importance of engagement in driving business results on the back of career development is a critical need for the organizations. Some more insights from the study. So we've just established that how career development plays an important role in employee engagement and how employee engagement actually plays an important role in business performances. And then we've got a data point which says that organizations that subscribe to career development are 6 times more likely to engage their employees than those who do not. Hence, if you see the correlation, it's going very strong and building stronger ties between career development, engagement, and organization performance. Hence, if an organization is talking about engagement and is not talking about career development, is missing critical element of engagement which will impact their business outcome. Likewise, if an organization is talking about career development and are not linking engagement with that career development plan as well, are also missing out the end objective, which is driving performance and business results. And through this study, what we've identified that across various engagement surveys and studies, drivers can be tied to career development discussions. So there could be statements which are talking about learning, could be statements talking about development, statements talking about managers, statements talking about opportunities. These are the statements that we have identified to career development discussions, and hence the entire correlation becomes even more evident between career development and engagement. With that, I would actually want to hear from all of you that as Right Management, we understand that how engagement is important to this point of time. I'm opening to all of you at this point of time to understand that what is your view on how organizations' engagement survey measure the importance of career development employees. We'll take 30 seconds for this poll. I encourage everyone to please give your insights into this, because that will help us in the rest of the webinar. So I'm launching the survey now. Please look at your screens and try and answer them. All right. So here we have the results. According to the poll that we have just taken, 88% of people say that yes, organizations' engagement survey measure the importance of career development to the employees. That's a really heartening result. However, 8% says no, probably their organization's engagement survey doesn't measure it, and balance 4% say we don't know. So probably they really don't know whether their organization's engagement survey measure the importance of career development or not. So with the majority of people saying yes, the organizations at this point understand that how this measure is happening, what you are actually measuring in terms of engagement vis-a-vis career development. Are you saying that your career development is measuring engagement? Are you saying that development is happening or not happening, or is it something more? What we are trying to actually build here is that it is more. It's not just measuring whether we are doing career development or not. It's actually trying to understand how we are developing careers of people across organization. And to drive that point, I would like you to look at this figure that we put on the slide. It says that it's a global study again done by Right Management, the same study, which says that out of all the 28,000 people we touch base, we found 50% to be totally disconnected with no engagement with job or organization. 34% are stars who are fully engaged with job and organization, and that means that employees are fully engaged. There are two more categories, bench warmers and free agents. One, free agents being engaged to job but not to organization, and hence the name given to them, free agents. And the other, bench warmers, who are definitely engaged with organizations, happily sitting on bench, but probably not engaged with job. So how does career development, if you were to ask or measure career development among these different sets of audience, would that be the same? No. What we need to understand at this point of time, that understanding this engagement data, the career development needs to change its approach for different set of way you will give them to bench warmers. Bench warmers, they are totally engaged with organization. You need to give them, going back to my point, meaning of the work and providing challenging work. Bench warmers need challenging work. They have meaning of the work. That's why they engage with organization, which is providing challenging work and probably giving them the right skills and capabilities to do that challenging work, and move bench warmers to start. Taking free agents, the career development program for free agents need to provide them meaning of the work. They probably have challenging work, and that is why they are engaged with jobs. Here, my career development approach would be to provide them meaning of the work and connecting them with the organization's larger purpose, so that they again move to the stars category. Whether I'm doing career development through my engagement survey is not enough. How you're doing career development and treating different set of people differently by definitely believing that one size fits one and take that into account and do career development is what. With that, I will actually now rephrase the question on career development vis-a-vis engagement and want to hear from you. Is career development the means of improving employee engagement and retention in your organization? I'll again open the poll for you to respond, and we'll take around a minute's time. So here we go. Thank you. So here we have the results of all the people who voted. 67% says yes, career development is viewed as a means of driving employee engagement and retention. However, a chunk of 24% 5%, and I would put another 8% among them, because if they don't know, probably the answer is no. That they don't know, or no, the organizations haven't felt a need to drive career development as a way to drive engagement and retention in the organization. And this is actually also what we have been hearing and listening across the world in our study as well, that yes, career development is also happening. Probably it's linking to engagement also, but there is no clear or established linkage that organizations have identified and also worked consciously on driving it like that. So that's in sync with what we are trying to drive here, and that is why we are forced to think that career development, is it just a program or is it a culture? Because that organization are trying to build, but having a 32% of people saying that no or I don't know, says that some of the organization more often than not are actually looking at building programs. So how do we address this question, and how do we go ahead understanding career development, linking with business strategy, and how to take it forward in the organization? My colleague Prashant, who's the co-presenter with me, and he will help you understand how organizations need to build a career development culture. So Prashant, over to you.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you, Tuhina. I think it's been an interesting discussion up till now, and the survey results have been quite interesting in terms of organizations, the way they look at career development in their own organizations, and also the role that their engagement surveys are playing towards measuring career development and engagement, so to say. This slide, I have a lot of conversations with a lot of organizations, and while most organizations do agree, and is a good thought, is a good concept, and framework that organizations need to invest on and institutionalize in their own organizations. But at the same time, there's always this little nagging doubt in people's mind in terms of what is it expected to do, number one. Number two, is there a risk? And the risk is and the doubt in the mind is in terms of the risk that there would be, and especially in large organizations with a very diverse workforce in terms of age, gender, experience, there's always this risk that there would be a lot of career aspirations that individuals may have that the organization may not be able to meet. And in that context, if you trigger a career discussion, what does it lead to? And in my mind, I think that's a fair mind in organizations. And it's extremely important in that context to understand what exactly career management as a framework is expected to do and what it can't do. And this slide is basically a good representation of what basically a career development framework, a good career development framework it's basically a balancing act that you're trying to create within an organization. And if you look at the diagonal across the green circles, every employer, every organization, depending on where it wants to be from a strategy point of view, also from the point of view of its own business model, would have certain needs and wants. So for example, if you are operating in an extremely competitive environment where your business model, where on how profitably you run your business per se, bottom lines are critical. I would need probably, my need from an organization point of view would be, I would probably need people who are extremely good in terms of understanding business finance per se, extremely cost conscious, very good in terms of execution. That's what probably the employer needs would be. On the contrary, if you look at the other side, every employee would come with their own set of value propositions, something that they are good at, something probably they will not be good. And that's a reality in the real world. Look at the blue diagonal. Every employee would also have certain needs and wants. For example, I as an individual may probably want a good work-life balance, for example. I as an employee may want to work in an organization which is extremely sensitive from, from performance point of view in terms of performing, awarding, rewarding high performance. On the contrary, every employer, again, depending on its business model and depending on strategic priorities, would bring in certain value propositions. So, for example, I may be an organization operating in a I would value performance, and I would value it by offering, for example, extremely good reward and recognition. I will incentivize very highly great performance. On the contrary, probably my patience levels for low, and I'm not saying that's true for all organizations, I'm just giving that as an example. In a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is every value proposition, either from the employee's needs or the employee's, employer side, could not be imagined or the organization brings onto the table. And a good career development framework brings that balancing act. Understanding the business context, understanding, articulating extremely well in terms of, in this business context, this is what I offer, this is what I to my workforce. And communicating it in such a way that this is what I bring onto the table, and saying that this is what and on the other side, the employees giving a framework employees to say that, well, this is where I am in this entire context. This is where I can move into the organization as the organization grows. And in that conversation, having that conversation, there may be, it's a possibility, there may be a few career aspirations, few aspects which probably in the organization context may not be possible to be fulfilled. And that should be fine. A good career development framework will not only address them, have a conversation around them, but bring that reality onto the table. And that's what it's expected to do. And in that context, the role of the leaders in the organization is important. And hence, a good career development framework, as we go ahead into the slides, you'll see that they have a role to play. The managers have the role to play, and your leadership has a role to play. It can't only be process articulated, but the process has to be implemented in the organization in its spirit, with a lot of conversation not by the immediate managers, but also by the senior leadership of the organization. And this balancing act is what a career development framework is expected to do. So align talent. So now I would draw your attention to the title, Aligning Talent with Business Strategy. The business strategy is real, is in context to the organization, and aligning talent to that is what a career development, and having all necessary tools, processes, conversations is, and bringing them in one single frame is what a good career development framework is. Can you do the next slide, Divya? Okay. Now, typically, if you really zoom out, and again, if you know, again, as part of a lot of conversations with a lot of organizations, and organizations which have fairly mature systems and processes, you know, if you really get them to zoom out and look in terms of what exactly they are doing currently, you will find a lot of bits and pieces, lot of systems that they would have, lot of processes, lot of tools that they would have implemented. For example, there will be a lot of organizations would have a lot of online resources from, you know, from a training perspective. There would be self-service portals in terms of giving them a sense in terms of where exactly they are. There would be job portals where internal job postings would be get hosted on. Probably there would be some part of the organization, again depending on the maturity of individual leaders in one part of the business, or the maturity of managers per se. What I'm trying to make is that if you really zoom out and get them to see that is this all these individual pieces, and all these pieces do form part of a good career management framework. But are these people aligned under one common umbrella? Are they all? So while you may have a lot of individual tools, systems, process articulated, and each of those tools, systems are good in themselves, and they are fulfilling one particular purpose per se. But are they all coming together and serving one larger purpose, which Divya spoke about, in terms of having a good, robust career management framework, which in turn impacts engagement, which in turn impacts productivity? That's the big question that organizations really need to really reflect on. Can we go to the next slide? Okay. Now, this basically tries to say how the house can get in order. And let me draw attention. I will not walk you through each and every part of the slide, but a few elements that I really want to draw your attention to. The first is the clear linkage element. The clear linkage of a career development to the business objective, that at times sound pretty logical, pretty obvious, but the art is in terms of articulating them and communicating it to the larger organization. So there's, so something which is all in the air, in the abstract, has a good touch and feel to it. And this for organizations in terms of not only articulating that clear linkage, but also communicating it to the larger organization in a very clear manner. So, it becomes slightly more touchy and feely for everybody to understand how this entire thing happens. On the other extreme is employee ownership. Now, this is an extreme form of a career management, a career development framework. Ultimately, the ownership lies with the employee, bottom line. The framework will be managed by the organization, but ultimately to take benefit out of it, to extract its maximum value, the employees have a role to play. And this communication, so so there would be career paths which would be defined, but to move into that career path, and the organization will provide all the enabling tools through assessments, through development frameworks, but bottom line, to take benefit of it, ownership lies with the employee, and that becomes an extremely important. And again, it's a matter of conversation. That's extremely important. Look at the senior visible senior leadership element. Now, this from a maturity stage, and designing a career management, career development framework and institutionalizing it in an organization can't happen overnight. It's a process. At some point of time, the senior leadership needs to play a role, not only in terms of articulating it, not only in terms of entire framework, but also playing a role in terms of, at least for certain critical, parts of the organization have a role to play, and that becomes, and a good framework will engage them. It can't be only left at the level. It has to integrate with the role that the senior leadership really needs to play. The bottom line, it has to be systemic, it has to be dynamic, it has to be sustainable, are pretty obvious. In terms of that, it can't run as a separate standalone. It has to integrate with all the other systems and processes that run in the organization, probably the PMS, the learning and development, the talent management frameworks. It has to be systemic. It has to be dynamic. It can't be one, because the organization business objectives change, because of which probably there would be new skill sets required in the entire career development framework, the management framework would need to change. So it has to be dynamic. It can't be static from that point of view. And it has to be sustainable in terms of that, yes, the organization, it can't be the flavor of the month per se. So it has to be sustainable over the long term. And easier said than done, I understand that, but that thought in terms of that, will this work? Will this work in the long run? Is a question that has to be on the table when we are designing a good career management framework. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so as I said, it's a process, and you know, and when we try and fit in, when we try to fit in, you know, organizations into, so basically, you know, from a level 1 to level 4, it's a continuum per se. Different levels in this entire continuum. Level 1 would be where there is some content available, the benefits to the employees has probably not been communicated, so there's something that happens, so probably you'll do a training program for managers here and now in terms of how do you have a career discussion. You have already engaged the senior leadership, there's a proper framework which is existing, all that is already happening. So it's a continuum. You probably today may start at level 1. You may be at level 1. You will need to be proactive in terms of what needs to be put into frame so that we are at level 2, and then in level 3 and 4. So it's a continuum from that point of view. Can we come to the next slide? Okay, so Tuhina, all yours. Let's take this poll. Let's take a view in terms of currently where do individuals see where their organizations are. Would you dispassionately put yourself at level 1, 2, 3, or 4? And there's an option none. in case you feel the need to choose that.
So while we are waiting for everyone's responses to come in, I'd just like to also remind everyone that do send in your questions to us through the questions tab, and we'll take them towards the end of the session.
Yes, I think we have 5 more minutes, and then pointing that out. Yeah, people can start sending in their questions.
So Prashant, you close the polls and the results are there for all to see.
Okay, okay. So most organizations have done something, at least some bits and pieces. Probably most organizations may have a career portal. So it's interesting to see that, and it's also interesting to see level 2. I would also, so 33% of the organization at least have started thinking proactively. It clearly tells us that organizations have started thinking about it proactively, and they have already started the process in terms of building. So that's extremely encouraging, extremely encouraging. 1/3 of the organizations have become proactive, so that's extremely good. And it's really nice to see 5% of the organization feel they have extremely in the organization. It would be very interesting to engage with these organizations and learn from them in terms of what exactly has worked for them, what exactly they have done. So thank you, everybody. Let's move on.
So Prashant, we are on to the presentation again.
Okay, I am seeing only one slide, which is building a career development. So can you move to the next slide? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So, so in terms of building a framework, now, ultimately it's a balancing of a lot of balls up in the air, and look at the balls that we have put up. It's a process of discovery. It's a process of personal branding. You know, the clear action planning at an individual level, and then the frameworks in terms of how do you execute that entire action plan through career coaching and the role that a manager. Look at these as, at one level it is sequential in terms of that probably you can't get into action planning till you have the discovery element. So there would be certain elements which are sequential, but there are certain things which run in parallel. For example, the career coaching and how the managers need to play a role. All that is probably running parallelly. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that's what, in an essence, process in terms of getting people to understand, discover their own strength, not only from a strengths and areas of development perspective, but also from a career aspiration perspective. So many times you catch hold of individuals say, where do you know, this question that we ask in interviews so many times, where do you see yourself 10 years from now? It's a very telling question, and you know, it's a telling question in terms of that, are people strategic about their entire, you know, in terms of where exactly they want to really think about it. Probably there's an issue, right? So just the discovery process is in terms of not only getting people to reflect internally in terms of what exactly, but also in terms of what exactly they want to do ultimately. You know, where do you feel they'll gain a lot of success? So that's the discovery process. Personal branding in terms of getting strategic in terms of what I want to do, putting, you know, a clear thought in terms of this is where I am, this is what I want to do. Action planning is in terms of then the path, and this is about probably creating a lot of career paths in the organization. So this is where I am, this is where I want to be, how can I navigate that entire plan? So, you know, from one role to another, what exactly are the skill sets required, how do I get them, in what time frame? You know, how is the system going to support me, what I will need to do at an individual level, all those elements. And then the career coaching. Career coaching in terms of giving this constant dialogue in terms of how the person is moving around the entire path. Things which are working well, not working well, also doing a reality check at times. This is extremely important. Career coaching at times is also about doing a reality check with the individual. I may have an aspiration of I want to be whatever, but whatever requires certain raw material, right? And that's reality, and it requires a certain personality type, it requires certain inherent skills. Career coaching at times also gets individual, a lot of times gets an individual to do that reality check, and that's and individuals, managers, organizations should not get defensive about it in terms of having that career discussion. And then they engage, you know, how do you use managers in terms of, and managerially engaging employees, but they themselves getting engaged into the entire process, because they need to understand that the role that they need to play, and they need to be engaged into the entire process. Okay? Let's get to the next slide. So discovery who I am. So that's what I've spoken about. The discovery is in terms of, and you can use, you know, lots can be done in terms of conversations, in terms of certain tools. You know, lots can be, and we have a lot of tools in place in terms of, from a discovery perspective, in terms of where I am, who I am, right, and who I am basically. Personal branding in terms of where. So in the entire organizational context, and please understand, where I am is always in the context of the organization. It can't be in abstract. So where I am, and ultimately action planning is in terms of where I want to be. Again, it's in the organizational context, where I want to be and how I'm going to get there, and also in terms of what exactly, how the organization is going to support this entire process. So that's what basically a career development process would, these are the building blocks. This is what way, and there would be different tools and everything would have a, you know, it would be at every stage, it would be a combination of certain processes, it would be a combination of certain tools, it would be a, you know, it would be a combination of the role that the managers, the leaders need to play. There would be the specific essence of the entire solution would be a combination of all these, right? Career outcomes would be obviously in terms of, so these are very broad categories in terms of, growing in place, in their own function. So, so these are typical, in large business houses probably could be growing within the group. So is there a possibility for moving one business to completely another business? That also could be a possibility. Again, it depends in terms of the organization where they want to put in such a framework in place. Okay, now this is interesting. How confident are you in your manager's ability to career coaching direct reports? And this is extremely important, and this is an extremely important reflection that people, because ultimately the process needs to live, and the process needs to live in its true spirit. And when the process, which is documented, otherwise it's just a nice document. If it needs to live in its true spirit, managers have a role to play. And let's hear from you in terms of, if you really sit back and do a dispassionate assessment in terms of managers' ability in the organization to have a good career coaching discussion. What's your view today, sitting today now at this moment? Let's hear from you. Are you very confident, not confident, or probably you don't have a view? More than almost 60% saying not confident, and at a certain level I won't be surprised. It's not surprising per se, because ultimately career discussions as a concept is something new. The managers, so so building capabilities at that level is definitely required. So it's not surprising per se in terms of so almost 60% of the people saying, 57 to be precise, having this view. So that's interesting. Okay, let's move on. I'm now very conscious of time. We have only 5 minutes and so I'll speed this up a bit, so please bear with me. So manager as a career coach, and this becomes an extremely important component of the entire framework, because while the process may be articulated and may be a very well articulated process, but ultimately to execute, to live that process on the floor of the organization, the role of the manager as a career coach becomes extremely important. And the solution that we have deployed in all those of understanding the entire process, this building the career coaching skills, conducting effective coaching sessions without getting defensive, and because in terms of your employee putting in, this is what I want to do, and so how do you also get their own skills, and then provide feedback, resourcing, and creating accountability. Ultimately, creating accountability at the individual's level in terms of, this is here to support you, but ultimately the buck stops with you. So even getting that and with the individual. So that's what the entire solution tries to do for the organizations. Let's move on. So yeah, so this is basically the slide that I've already spoken about. So ultimately, in a nutshell, I would just simply want to draw your attention. So these are all the balls that you need to really balance, and they're all up in the air, and it's ultimately about putting in a process which helps the individual discover themselves, understand in terms of a personal element, in terms of where they, then the career coaching and getting the managers involved into the entire process. At the center is obviously the senior, the role that the senior leadership really needs to play. Let's move on. Okay, so in conclusion, let's come to the next slide. So career development culture drives the organizations. Let's put up all the pop-ups. Drives engagement, retention, productivity, and performance. And this is clear. I mean, there's enough research around between engagement and productivity, between engagement and retention, and there's enough research around all this. Basically what we are trying to say is that engagement, if you really look at drivers of engagement, career becomes and look at any good engagement survey, it needs to have an element of career. The survey has to have that. So that becomes an enabler to engagement. That's the way we really look at it. A career development conversation ensures engagement, ensures retention, ensures productivity, and hence ensures organizational performance. That's the linkage communicate. Okay, I think this brings up the house is open. 5 minutes. We'll quickly take questions from everybody. I know we are sort of overshot time, but hopefully you all found value in this. So Tuhina, if you can start reading all the questions. So between me and Divya, we'll take them on.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Divya, for sharing all these insights. And I think we do have some good questions which have come in. I'd like to start with the first one, which is on how do you link career development to career pathing? So Divya, would you like to take this on?
Sure, Tuhina, thanks. So thanks for this question, quite an interesting one. How do you link career development to career pathing? So, first of all, they are, one is a precursor to another. You can't develop a career unless you have first defined the career path. For any organization, defining various career paths is the starting point of developing a career management model, culture, framework, and then you decide that what kind of development, what kind of interventions, what kind of people you need in those various careers and on the way of the career path. So career path is the precursor. On that defined career path, then you do development of the right set of people to occupy the right jobs on that path. Does that answer your question?
So career path is the means to the end of a career match. So you will have to look at it from that point of view. So that's the only thing that I would want to say.
So thank you. We have another question. Is what should be the approach to entry level and middle manager career? To take this?
Approach to middle and career. So I think one thing is, from a concept point of view, we have to be first clear in terms of, where at an entry level, so career pathing is not for people to stay at an entry level. It's about moving into the organization, and that's what aspirations would be. So at an entry level, people will come in. So the thought, the concepts, the principles will largely remain the same. It's only that, what people bring onto the table at the beginning. So linking it back to my first slide where I started off in terms of, what are the value propositions of the individual and what the organization, that gets slightly different, in terms of at every level. And that articulation probably would be the approach that, so articulating it and then taking it, across levels would be important. How much focus, the big question is in terms of how much focus would you want to do at an entry level and middle level. That's a good question to ask, and that would be very specific to organization, I would say.
Okay. Thank you, Prashant. So we have another question. I think this will be our last question for the day because we've overshot time. So action planning usually revolves around training and coaching. What are the other impactful interventions that can be adopted at the leadership level? So Prashant, would you like to take this on?
So action planning would be in terms of, setting context in terms of, and it could also be in terms of the senior leadership in terms of, for example, action planning would also be in terms of executing that entire movement per se. So, and especially if it is across functions and across businesses. Right? We all understand that at times managers become pretty, what should I say, possessive about their own people. Right? And so to execute that entire process at times the senior leadership team, so action planning people, job rotations, for example, if you're talking about, from an action planning perspective, somebody wanting to moving in, so for example, into a completely unrelated, so job rotation becomes an extremely important from an exposure perspective. To execute that within an organization, there would be a role that the senior leadership really needs to play. And so, for example, job rotation could be one of the elements in terms of, so spending 2 months in a completely different department, for example, that could be one of the tools.
Yeah, and just to add on to what Prashant has said, there's another way of actually giving the leadership the experience and the exposure is actually to ask them to become internal coaches to their people or mentor the people. So they have become leaders by doing certain things and they have reached a certain level. Now it's up their turn to actually, and that to build others, and that is where instead of them getting coaching, that is for them, they should be internal mentors and coaches and use this forum, and this will ultimately drive engagement, retention, and also connect them with larger organizations as well.
Prashant, with this we come to the end of our webinar today on career development. I would thank everyone who has joined us today, and we hope to see you in some of our future sessions. We will shortly share an abridged version of this presentation with you. For feel free to reach out to our organizing team. You can also write in to me at tuhina.panda2@right.com. You can also visit our website for any more additional details that you might want to look at. Thank you everyone, and hope you